Hello everyone, my name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. So today, we're going to be working on this. Oh my god, we're having lag issues today. Oh well, that's how today is going to go. So this is a Centris 610 logic board from Tech Ambrosia. We've gotten this thing fixed up. We'll talk more about this in a little bit. But first, we're going to work on my Quadra 610, which is already on the Big Bad Bench. It's already booted up. And I guess you can kind of see behind me, we got our flying toasters. This is actually Tech Ambrosia's CD drive that's been recapped. And check out how awesome this is. We can load up videos from the Windows 95 CD. This is a burned copy of the CDs. So our CD drive's working good. There you go. How fun is that? Unfortunately, the Weezer one's not working. So that was cool. All right. So this thing, let's see, can we go to Apple Personal Diagnostics? Remind you that this is a Quadra 610, so it normally runs at 25 megahertz. And we did some mods to it, so it is now currently running at 33 megahertz. And my goal is to get this thing running at 40 megahertz. So let's see if we can get that done today. So I'm gonna shut this down. And I'll show you the thing, and then I'll say hi to folks in the chat. Okay, here's our little guy. Take a look at that little guy. We have, who's all in the chat today? I'm gonna shut this down. We got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, the Toiletist, Jamie's Hack Shack, Starbuck Tech, Alan Gracia, Francois Rival, Lazy Blue Goat, Tech Ambrosia herself is here, Gut Bomb, Jack68K, I DIY. Wow, we got a full group Callan. Hello. Action Retro is here. Wow, we're graced with the famous people. Epictronics. Speaking of famous people, I want to give a shout out to Noel's Retro Lab. Noel mentioned me in a video this week, and a bunch of new subscribers have popped in since then. So thank you so much, Noel, for mentioning me. And yeah, this is my Windows 95 totally legit CD that was just playing the Windows 95 videos. So the Tech Ambrosia, your CD drive is working wonderfully. All right, so let's set this aside. So here's our little Blue Scuzzy. Blue Scuzzy's freaking awesome if you didn't realize that. Let's zoom on this thing a little bit and show you what we're working with. We'll go into the microscope in a second, but what I want to show you, so this crystal is what we replaced. You know, this by default was 12.5 megahertz. That 12.5 megahertz goes into this chip, and this chip spits out 12.5, but then it also spits out double whatever that number is and quadruple whatever that number is, because one of the things I didn't realize is that 68040 processors have whatever the normal clock is. It also, part of the processor runs at twice the normal clock. And so even though this thing, the main clock is 33 megahertz, there are parts of the processor that are running at 66 megahertz. This chip right here was designed for 50 megahertz. And so basically we are overclocking this chip. And so that's an issue. And so if we go out on the interwebs, we can find different versions of these chips. And Trina's here. How's it going, Trina? Jack68K says, my Windows 95 CD has a handwritten label too. Yeah, pretty much everyone's does these days. All right, so here's our new chip. And you can see MC88916DW80. And if you're like me and you're an idiot and you don't know how to order things off of AliExpress, sometimes you order the wrong thing because they put multiple part numbers and the same thing, and you have to click on different things once you're already in there. And so at first I bought this XC88916DW55, which is not fast enough, and so this one is 80. So we're going to replace the normal one, which should be good for 55 megahertz, with one that theoretically, or 50 megahertz, should be good for 80 megahertz. So let's pop in the microscope. Yeah, normally if the photos don't match, just avoid it. Well, when you go and you search and this 80 number was the first thing on the list, and you think, oh, yeah, no, that's going to work great. And then when you actually order, you clicked the 55, because they're really good at messing with you like that on AliExpress. All right, so there's our chip. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you the what the signal looks like. So basically, let's get some tweezers. We're going to need tweezers in a second anyway. So I think it's this pin, the second pin right here. That's the one that spits out the double or the quadruple, whatever your clock is. And then there's one over here that's the actual clock, and then there's the actual like 16 megahertz that we have in there right now. Yeah, I haven't hit these with isopropanol yet to see if, or acetone yet to see if they are real or not. But you know, a couple weeks ago we got hit with some fake 68,000 processors. So that was fun. So we'll see if we have any better luck today. All right, so I'm going to put in one of my fancy heat shields, and we're going to put on our hot air station. Let's start with 350 megahertz, 350 degrees today. Let's see, this is not aligned with what I'm seeing. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now. All right, so let's take this guy off. Trina, here's some hot air soldering action. Right now I'm only at 80 whatever, I think it's liters per minute. I'm gonna crank this up to 100 at 350 degrees. Basically I have this little heat shield here so that I don't hurt the processor socket. Everything around here should be fine. Every once in a while I'm just going to poke at this chip. Sometimes you can kind of see when, you know, the solder starts to melt. I haven't actually seen anything yet. You never really want to pull on these things as you're using hot air to take them off. Alright, I saw a little wiggle there, and I accidentally bumped. There you go, starting to move. Okay, there we go. That's off. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is come back in with a little flux. I typically don't use flux to remove chips. Flux is really wonderful when you're soldering. You often really don't need flux when you're removing stuff unless it's like a big BGA IC and it's got a lot of pins underneath. It can kind of help you get some heat transfer underneath there. Need some solder braid, which I seem to have misplaced because, you know, I'm really good at YouTubing. I'm prepared for these things. Oh well, we'll use our backup braid. It's not great. It's real janky braid. This brand of flux smells a little bit like curry, so this is the Chip Quick NC191. It's not awful. It's not pretty smelling like some of the other solder braids that are fluxes on the market that you can get. Yeah, this braid is terrible braid. But it'll eventually work. This is one of the problems with bad braid, is that it doesn't flow up the solder. So it doesn't flow up the braid very well. And that can lead to sticking. And when you have things sticking to your solder braid, you can pull off pads and whatnot. And if you didn't realize, pulling off pads is probably the worst thing you can do when you're trying to remove chips. Yeah, this braid is very tiny too. Oh, there's my good braid. Oh, thank gosh. Thank you. My braid was hiding underneath a pile of junk. Hot tips, like don't tear off your pads. See how nice that just heated up? Ah, so much nice. So much nicer. That's the difference between terrible old stuff and gooder stuff. Random Seed, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Brand wise, the good stuff is stuff that I bought from shoot, what's the guy's name? He's in California and repairs pretty much everything. Northridge Fix. And the old stuff is Solderwick. This is the not good stuff. Rada Electronic Company. There you go. This is bad. This is real bad. Alright, so now we have our pads all nice and clean. We put a little flux down. We have our new clock chip, making sure that is oriented properly. Okay. And now we're going to come back with our tip, clean our tip, since we just did a bunch of nasty stuff to it. We're going to touch down over here. I don't like the way that one went on, so we're going to adjust it a little bit. There we go. That's much better. This would probably be easier if I actually took the logic board out of the case. And what do I always tell you at the BigBadBench? Don't take shortcuts because it winds up taking longer. And what do I always do? Take shortcuts, and it always takes longer. All right, so I got that side done. Again, I'm just doing some corners here. If you're a pro, you could probably like come through and drag solder this. I'm terrible at drag soldering. Come on, hands. And you can see when you put a lot of flux in there that those solder joints flow real nice. You get a bunch of solder on your tip. Oh yeah, there were also some comments that the 68040 wasn't stable at 40 megahertz because it was overheating. I added this heatsink and it's still not stable. And the CPU really, I don't know a way to tell the actual temperature, but it's not getting hot. The other thing I like to do sometimes is take my multimeter and just come on here and just give it the diode test, the continuity test, and just give it a real quick check to make sure that our pins are all the way down. So I'm just checking on the corner of the pad and the top of the leg. Okay, so we're all soldered in good. And let's go back to here. All right. So there's our clock chip in there. There's our 16.38 megahertz oscillator. All right, let's see if this thing actually works. 3, 2, 1. And we got no chime. We got no freaking chime. Let's check this thing for, let's see here. Just want to check something real quick. See if we have any clocks anywhere. Oops. Oof. Yep, that's not working. All right, let's shut this off for a second. I just want to make sure that this is actually touching. Oh, there it goes. All right, I think our chip came loose, our clock oscillator. And yeah, now we have it. All right. Oops. I need more hands. Hey, Ian Scott. All right. Oh, yeah, I gotta shut this off and plug in the blue SCSI again. All right, so while this is booting, I'm gonna try to show you what I'm seeing in my oscilloscope. So the issue is that these stupid precision sockets, the pins just like decide to let go. Like there's this little internal bit that helps the precisioniness of it, and they fall out sometimes. And so you got to make sure that it's all sitting in there nice and tight. High quality stuff. There we go. All right, so that's gonna boot up, and let's see, this might kill my stream. So if the stream goes, let's blame it on my oscilloscope software. All right, you can see behind me, it's booting up. Sorry, 1 second. Almost there. There. Alright, so you can kind of sort of see the waveform here. Oh, this software is so terrible. Let's see if that fixes it. No, that doesn't do crap for what you can see. I can see the waveform very nice. Rygal, you got to get your software crap together. Okay, so what we're looking at here is our 32 megahertz signal. And I'm going to go down and go down to the 66 megahertz signal. It's still a weird signal. It's better than it was with the old stuff. So you can kind of see that it kind of almost looks like a clock. Actually, 66 megahertz is a bit much for my scope too. I have a 300 megahertz scope. And so basically with oscilloscopes, whatever your number is, you divide it by 5, whatever your megahertz bandwidth is, and that's sort of what your maximum frequency is. Yeah, it's not a great waveform, but it's higher, it looks higher and more waveformy on the actual scope than what this is doing. All right, so yeah, so I DIY is reminding me that I could actually just use a real camera pointed at the oscilloscope, and that is something we could do as well. All right, so let's shut this thing down and find a 20 megahertz clock crystal. All right, sorry, I missed a bunch in the chat. We got Ian Scott, yep, said hi to Ian Scott. I8300, I8386SX. Let's see, Rudy's here. How's it going, Rudy? Yeah, we could reposition Potato Cam, but that's going to be as bad as the software that I was just showing you. All right, so we're going to pop this out. We're going to make sure that we grab this little internal socket thingy that keeps wanting to fall out and put that back on its right leg. And then we'll put this in here. I'm sure this is helping a lot, that these legs do not fit real tight in the crystal socket. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Got chime. Let's see what our waveform looks like here. Ooh, that looks way better. Let's go back to there. That's a prettier waveform. It's kind of wiggly. Oh, something just changed. Oh, something bad just happened. What the heck was that? Maybe our crystal fell out. Gonna hold this thing in. Come on, boot, you jerk. What do you think? Have we frozen? Fluffy Floof, welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, our mouse seems to have frozen up. Dang, I thought we were gonna do it today. Seems like 40 is just out of the question for these little things. Let's shut it down for a second. Yeah, and that processor is not even warm. Oh, Sean says he has faith. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just bend the legs. Oh, let's do it here. Just gonna bend these legs ever so slightly to encourage better touching. All right, stabilize yourself there, guy. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Come on, thing. Do your thing. Our blue scuzzy is blue scuzzying. Keep flashing, guy. Keep flashing. Our mouse is still mousing. Come on, thing. Come on, thing. I'm kind of keeping my eyes on the blue scuzzy, waiting for the next flashes of activity. It seems to have not had any activity here. We haven't lost our mouse yet, though. Come on, guy. Keep doing it. Do a thing. Do a thing. Come on, push through the burn. Man. This is... Yeah, oh, there it goes. It locked. It locked. Yeah, let's try the no extensions. We're in. All right, are we gonna get through a run of speedometer? Are we looking, what are we looking at? You're looking at me, okay. Yep, okay, we know, yep. Okay, ready, go. Run all tests. Yes, this could take several, this is not gonna take several minutes because this thing is a beast. This thing is gonna power through these tests. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, I guess I should actually run something that shows me the clock frequency. Oh, has it hung? It might have hung. Just like my computer seems to want to do. Oh, no, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're finishing. Come on, finish. I think when we ran that before, it crashed here once it starts doing color. The tests are done. Ding, tests are done. All right, so the first time we ran this stock with the 25 megahertz CPU, we got a 15.927 score here. It's now 26.149. Our graphics score was originally 13.144. We're now double that, 26.375. We're going to ignore our disk. And our math score was originally 29.913. We're 51.577. Awesome. So how fun is that? We're at 40. Oh yeah, we got to double confirm that we are actually at 40. So no, we don't need to save this right now. So let's go to Apple Personal Diagnostics, System Info, 68040 at 40 megahertz. There we go. Yes, getting rid of those extensions helped. Can almost play Crisis on this thing, yeah. That's awesome. All right, well, we did it, folks. We got through a benchmark run at 40 megahertz. Seems like one of the extensions was not happy, but that's very cool. Oh. All right, so now we got to finish Tech Ambrosia's system, because she's been waiting for what, a month. Yeah, who needs extensions anyway? All right, so let's shut this thing down. Well, that was exciting. Is anyone else's heart beating too fast? Although that's just my heart at this point. It could be the atherosclerosis. That's not a word I can say. The thickening of my heart. That's probably what's causing that. All right, let's take this out so we can use it on Tech Ambrosia's system. Set that up there. Oh, look at it. This is another project I was working on this week. This is a backup mirror for a 2015 Kia. Basically, the backup camera got filled up with junk, salt, sand, other stuff. I took it apart. It works now, but I gotta glue it all back together because the plastic was crumbly AF. Sean's heart was beating at 40 megahertz. Yes. Jack 68K. You need the 40 megahertz version of the extension. Excellent. I love it. I love it. All right. Wow. Okay. So let's shut off our oscilloscope so that maybe we actually won't crash here. Uh-oh. I just hit a button. Weird things are happening. Trust me, folks. I am not a professional. That's too far. All right. Okay. Here's Tech Ambrosia Centris 610 board. Let's do a quick comparison. This is a spare parts Quadra 610 board that had a lot of issues that Gut Bomb gave me. You can see it's missing a lot of pads. But if we take a quick look here at these two things, aside from the CPU missing, does anyone notice anything about some clock stuff? Right, we know. Let's set these down and we can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so there's our two boards. Crystal oscillator, no crystal oscillator, crystal oscillator, crystal oscillator, crystal oscillator. So for the Centris 610, it runs at 20 megahertz, and so the network chip basically just gets its clock information from all the clocks being derived over here. For the Quadra, since it runs at 25 megahertz, it derives its own frequent clock for the network chip. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to pull these components off, stick them over here on Tech Ambrosia's board so that she can get above 25 megahertz. There's also a couple of things that we need to change on the back of the board. Yeah, this was a board that Gutbomb did some abuse to. These poor chips were just kind of dangling off into the distance, and I just dropped one. It'll show up again eventually. I don't know if people are interested in watching me fight another Quadra 610 or Centris / Quadra 610. You can see I already repaired one trace, but there's a lot more bad vias and traces there. So this would be sort of a magical thing if I could get it working again. This thing is bugging out. All right. Yeah, you could theoretically go and see which extension was causing the issues, but yeah, I don't really care that much. I'm probably going to clock it back down to 33 megahertz. It was more of an experiment, and to see that nicer clock signal, that kind of sold it for me that we had some other issues happening. All right, so what are we going to do? We got to pull these things off of here. So I guess we should go in the microscope. I guess I should prove to you that Tech Ambrosia's board actually works. Let me show you. This board was something else, man. This is probably the most difficult system that I ever got working. Let's go back to the microscope. All right, so zoom. All right, if we look at this chip, this is a resistor pack. That via was bad, that via was bad, that via was bad, and that via was bad. And if we go over here, that via was bad, that via was bad, that via was bad, that via was bad. And then if we go over here, that via was bad, and I think that's it. It had a bad trace, and there was a bad trace somewhere else, and there were some other bad traces other places that I can't remember now. And so this board took a long time to get figured out, and so that I apologize for taking so long to get this back to you, Tech Ambrosia. Oh yeah, there was a bad trace over here, and this HC132 chip seemed to be bad. So basically, if you have a Centris 610 or a Quadra 610, get the freaking caps off that thing. They are a mess. All right, so let's set this aside and get our parts board. And here's our network chip. And here's our 20 megahertz oscillator, and we're going to need this inductor right here as well. So let's use some hot air. We like hot air here. Again, I typically don't use flux to remove components. Whoa, whoa. That just went flying. I got it. We're okay, folks. Don't worry. Rudy. I don't know why I can't spell today. Or look, I can't even talk right. Ah, jeez. Rudy's Retro Intel asks which microscope I'm using. So Oh yeah, look at that. Keeps dying. Anyway. Um, this is an AM scope. And the microscope itself is fine. The camera is white hot garbage. So it was a combo that I bought for like 700 bucks. And like, it's just the, the drivers for the camera are straight up awful. Amscope told me that they weren't working on my computer because I had an edge case system, like that my configuration was so far out of whack that they couldn't support it. My edge case was that I was using Windows 10, right? And this was before like Windows 11 came out. So we're not talking like old tech. It's just that they didn't know how to do it. Sorry, one second. I'm going to pop this out. And pop this back in. Let's see if that fixes us. Oh, Trina's technobabble with the burn. To be fair, you're fully of hot air. All right, so let's see here. All right, so there's our oscillator and our inductor. Let's put some flux on this guy. Oh shoot, I forgot to show you that this board actually works now that we're going to break it. It used to work, I promise. My computer's having issues today. My brain's having issues. What the heck is going on? It's good to be back streaming. I missed you all last week. All right, so we're just gonna put a little solder on that one. Gonna take our inductor and pop it on there. Look at how nice that flowed. And put our solder on there. That is beautiful. That is pretty. Dave says I'm coming down from my high of getting my Quadra to 40 megahertz. It might be that. It might be that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to scooch it over just a little bit more. Do this side. Scooch that one down. And then... Oh, Tech Ambrosia, do you have VRAM sims? Because I put a couple in this board. You can have them if you would like. If you don't have any. Okay. So this is the stuff we needed to do to the top part of the board. The problem is that this thing is still coupled underneath, and so there's a couple little resistors that we have to move in order to get this perfect. We need to decouple the clock signal from the other side. Why would you need drivers for a camera? Yeah, that's a really good question. Unfortunately, for the USB cameras that Amscope provides, you need drivers for them. Oh, there was that chip. That just went off into the nowhere. Okay, so let's go over here. Okay. So I want to be... I think it's these three right here. 146, 145, and 144. And I did not figure this information out on my own. Let's go show you. Okay, so there's this website. Oh geez. Oh geez. Applefool.com, clock chipping the 610. And so here's all the information about that. Okay. And I put that link in the description of today's video as well. So they're the ones that told me how to do this thingy. So go back to microscope. All right, so the one that's on 144, we need to move over to 145. So for that, we're going to use the hot tweezers. And since we are sort of soldering and desoldering at the same time, I'm going to break my rule about adding flux when desoldering. So we're going to take this, wait for our hot tweezers to pop to get the temperature. There we go. Moving that one there. This is the kind of thing that the hot tweezers are really good at. I think that one's slightly off the board, so we're gonna come back and reflow that. This is just a 0 ohm resistor, so basically you could jump it with a wire if you really wanted to. Okay. So then, here we go. There's our 146. We need this resistor that's at 146. I'm gonna steal that from this board. We could just replace, we could add a new one, but it doesn't matter. And we're gonna put that one there. See, that joint isn't as nice because I forgot to add flux to that part, right? That's why our flux is nice. Let's add some flux and make this happy. See how nice and shiny those joints are now? Look at that. That's pretty. That's what y'all came for. This is why you come by the BigBadBench, to see nice, shiny solder joints like that. That is quality. All right, so that should do it. That should have decoupled the network from this clock chip and gave it its own. All right, K-Mac Vintage is here. Oh, look, our camera, my face camera just totally gave out. All right, let's, oh, no, it's back. Let's put you away. Good night, face camera. You all don't need to see my face. You've seen it before. Let's go back to here and let's plug this thing in and test it. Make sure it still works. Yeah, I don't use the hot tweezers all that much, but when I do use them, they're incredibly useful. When you gotta move a resistor or remove a resistor, or put a new resistor on, or a capacitor, or something along those lines. Little SMT components like that are really fun. Makes that job way easier. Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Time to overclock the webcam. Yeah, I think it's time for a new face cam setup. All right, so let's plug in a mouse and let's plug in a monitor. We'll skip the keyboard for now. And I think we have 2 levels of electric here. 3, 2, 1. That was very quiet, but it chimed. Trina says stop. Why do I need to stop, Trina? What did I do? Hey, Mr. Tech Gadget, welcome. Did you put both components on the board face side up? Yep, they're back on. Let's take a look at the quality of the default clock chip here. Let's show you the. Oh no, I already shut that off. Oh, my face is back. Go away, face. You're go home, face. You're drunk. Get rid of that. All right, you're not going to be able to see this, but I am currently pulling up Apple Personal Diagnostics. Let's see if giving my face a rest did anything. Now let's go to System Info. Okay, 68040 at 20 megahertz. Okay, so what we're going to do is kit out the logic board on this one to make it a little bit easier for Tech Ambrosia to play with the frequencies. So shut down there, shut down there. Okay. Yeah, I think I might be day drinking after this Starbucks. Oh shoot, I forgot to show you the clock thing. It was a real nice clock thing. Let's see if we can get this to go. So this is the signal coming out of, oh, you can't see that. I gotta show it to you. That's the signal coming out of the oscillator itself. And then this one should be this, oh yeah, this one is the 2x. And then down here should be the 4x. That's a real nice signal. All right, have a good day, Rudy. So we'll see what happens when we futz with this thing. All right, so now we got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of this. Gonna use our hot air again. Oh no, I need my heat shield. When you're doing multiple chips like this, it's a good idea to, like, you know, rip the one off and then go right to the next one while the board still has some heat to it. There we go. I'm just going to set that on top of the CPU. Okay. So those things are off. And let's take this away, and we'll go back under the microscope to do the next bits. Okay, so what we're going to do is put on one of the 80 megahertz ones of these and put in some little sockets, even though the sockets kind of suck. It's our only real option for allowing futzing. And everyone always wants to do some futzing, right? Microscope. So you can see here we have spots where we can put in our little sockets, but we got to get the solder out of there first. Let's try, oh geez. Let's try the old Soldapult and see how the old Soldapult does. Gonna give it a second. Oh yeah, that was great. Let's give it another shot. There we go. That's better. Almost. Almost better. This one's gonna be easier. Nope. Gonna come back in from the other side. While we're on this side, let's add some flux and get rid of the old solder from our clock chip. Did I already lose my solder braid? Nope, there it is. Look at how nice these pads are now. They're nice, happy pads. And let's find one of our 80 megahertz chips. Nope, that's a 55. Boop. Still a lot of good flux on here from 4. Tweezers. Tweezers. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're going to do corners. Push this down. Push this down. You can see how when you have the extra flux there, it just helps grab that solder off of the tip and just let it flow onto the pads. Flux is kind of magical like that. All right, so our clock generator chip's on there. And then let's flip this guy over. Is that everything is broken garage? Oh yeah, no, look, everything's out of those holes. All right, these are good to go. All right, solder pult did not fail me. All right, so I'll do this next step out in the real world. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. There we go. Everything is broken garage. How's it going, Ryan? And so what we need to do, actually, let me find these things. See if I have any shorter ones of these. Yeah, there we go. So these are just precision sockets. And gonna pop off 4. Cut them into their individual things. Then use a knife to hurt myself. Remember, kids, never do what you see me do here on the Big Bad Bench. Oh yeah, that's gonna end well. Let's use a bad CPU as a cutting board. That'll be safer. Basically, you just gotta cut the side off of these things and get the chip ball or the little socket thing all by itself. So that's what we're left with there. We'll use that. And then we need 3 more of those. And these are going to be the socket for our crystal oscillator. And you could probably just use a little heat to take it off. I find that this method works reasonably well. Yeah, I would recommend not doing that either. The 68882 project. 68882 project. That was fun. I don't know. Ron said that he was going to send me some PowerBook boards to solder DB25 connectors onto using that technique. I still haven't gotten them, although Ron did have sort of a tirade about whatchamacallit mailing, so maybe he did mail them and they got lost in the whatchamacallit mail. All right, so now we're going to take this guy and we're going to put it into there. Actually, no, what we're going to do is we're going to take our crystal and put all the legs on it. Put all the sockets onto its legs, I mean. Oh, look, I bent that one. It'll be okay. We'll bend it back. And we'll stick this here. And now that's sort of making sure that all those are in the right spot. We can come in with our soldering iron. We'll just do one to get started. Let's do the ground since that one's going to be the hardest. So I just put a little blob of solder on there, and now I went in, melted that solder, and do the same with the other side. Okay, that's good. And then that one. And then that one. So now we have basically a socket for crystals. And we have our 80 megahertz, up to 80 megahertz clock generator chip. Let's start here. Let's see, we got 12.5 megahertz. Oh gosh, oh, we lost them. All right. 12.5 megahertz crystal. So that'll overclock our 20 megahertz to 25 megahertz. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, blue SCSI. Got a mouse. Got a speaker plugged into the speaker slot, not the LED slot. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We got a chime. It was very quiet, but it was a chime. Oh, I forgot to plug in the monitor. Trina, you should have said stop. All right, I heard the second thing that normally means the video is going to come on. Yes, we got video. The CPU is barely warm. Let's go to Apple Personal Diagnostics. And 68040 at 25 megahertz because we have a 12.5 megahertz clock in there, or crystal in there right now, so that gets doubled. All right, cool. So that's working. So this thing has a solid foundation for overclocking. Well, I guess it's already overclocked since this is a 20 megahertz CPU running at 25 megahertz. We got our wireless internet going. What else? Oh, I guess we should run. Let's run speedometer real quick just to show it should run exactly the same as my Quadra 610 right now. Come on, John. We're not talking right. We're not clicking right. We're having issues today. Look at those things go. have to come up with a way to rig up your original clock so that it fits into the sockets. We'll do a little janky pin mod using some capacitor leads so you can run it at the stock speed too. Craig Learmont, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. So, you know, it's only 5 megahertz, but if we think about it, that's a 25% increase over the stock speed. So, it's nothing to shake a stick at, right? All tests are done. All right, so our CPU, 16.073. My original Quadra 610 was 15.927. The graphics score, 15.243. My original graphics score was 13.14. So this one's actually faster than my original one. The math score on mine was originally 29.913. This one's 31.85. It's in this similar range. So there you go. We did it, folks. We did it. Oh man, I'm in like slow motion here. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Any other questions? What else do we need to do? So we got, let's review where we're at. Let's shut this down so that I can think. Because obviously I can't do more than one thing today. So this thing, we recapped the power supply, got that to work. We recapped this thing, fixed lots of bad traces, vias. Oh, I put a CR2032 on here so that's better. We replaced the clock generator. We replaced put a little socket in here so that you can change out the clock chip, crystal oscillators, and I'll send you a couple more that I have around here so that you can play with that. With mine, we got it up to 40 megahertz. It booted and it did the benchmark test as long as we eliminated extensions. So that was pretty darn cool. It was cool to get that goal done, even though it's kind of pointless, but it was fun, right? Like pushing these old things to do as much as we can. That's pretty wild. Oh geez, Marcus Mayfield, did I miss the drawing for the Mac Plus? Oh man, I gotta do this. Yeah, well, I'll put this thing back in the ultrasonic bath, give it one final clean, and then it will be back on the road to Tech Ambrosia. Oh man, I need to do the drawing for the Mac Plus still. Geez, okay. Does anyone remember what I used to use for my drawings? Yeah, let's do that here before we finish up. I feel awful that I didn't do that last week. Comment picker. Which is the one? Okay, this is the one I was using. All right. No, you didn't. I unfortunately I had some life things pop up last week, and my brain hasn't been in a good space. But no, we got to do that drawing. so that I can start finding the person. All right, so let's do this thing. Let's go to web capture, and we'll give you this one. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay. So now we got to go find, where was that video? Okay, there's that video. Now, we're not going to play it. We just need to grab, we're not going to do that either. Okay.
I mean, it looks...
Oh God, my voice is terrible. Why would anyone listen to this mess? Okay, here we go. So, are you all seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, okay. YouTube comment picker. No, we're not going to try that video game. Going to click. There's our thing. Filter duplicate users. That's it. Number of winners. We'll do this bleep bloop thing. And our that is that. So we'll get YouTube comments. Unique comments 38. And then we click start raffle and pick winner. Here we go, folks. Eric's Edge. Woot. He knew in advance that he was going to win. It says woot. All right, so I'll talk to Eric, see if he wants this beast. Awesome. Congratulations, Eric. Man, we did a lot today. We did a lot today. All right. Hey, Bacchus, how's it going? Gutpump says, my voice is relaxing, dog. That's a good place to end. Alrighty, so, blah. All right, man, I am exhausted. Is anyone else tired after today's stream? All right, I will talk to you all soon. Oh, right, next week's stream. So this video card was from the PowerMac 7100, and it has like corrupted weird lines. So we're gonna see if we can fix this next week on stream. We know it has bad caps. I can already see there's leakiness coming out of these caps. So we'll recap it. We'll see if we can fix this video card. So GPU June is a thing. So this isn't quite a GPU. Some people call it a VRAM expansion card. But it's about as close to GPUs as we get for old Macs. So we will we'll play with that next week. And of course, Mac 84 just got here as we're wrapping up. Good job, Steve. I actually thanked you earlier, Steve. People like you and that keep promoting my channel. I really do appreciate it. I don't know why anyone would come and watch this mess, but here we did it. We got an overclock ready, Centris 610. We got our Quadra 610 up to 40 megahertz. Excuse me, and I'm losing my voice now. All right, perfect time to leave. Have a lovely week, you all. Thank you all so much for stopping by and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great week.